This is Eat, Drink, Explore, and I'm your host and founder, Roger Bissell. So, ciao tutti. And tonight, we're going to be doing a little bit of exploring, but we'll be exploring southern Italy tonight, because the whole platform of Eat, Drink, Explore is to inspire other people to join this platform where they can eat, drink, explore. Now, exploration can be art, it can be food, it can be wine, it can be all of the above. But we just happen to be in southern Italy in an area in Campania, specifically Naples. So I want to get started a little bit with the sauce tonight. And please feel free, everyone, jump in if you have any questions. I'm going to get started with teaching you probably one of the easiest sauces to make. You can make this in 10 to 15 minutes. So we're going to give you a little bit of a background on that. It's called Puttanesca. So we're going to be making a linguini Puttanesca, but you can also use spaghetti as well. But traditionally, the recipe was linguini. So spaghetti Puttanesca. Puttanesca literally means horse sauce. Legend has it, we can't verify, that the women of the night or the men of the night, whoever they were, they needed a quick, easy meal with ingredients and components like the ones you have here, like olives, capers, anchovy, tomato, and garlic, that you could make at a moment's notice in a few minutes. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're making a Puttanesca sauce. So, but before we get into that, anyone have any wine they'd like to drink? Anyone?
What do you suggest, Roger? White or red?
Well, you can have a red with it, but you know, but we're gonna have a Falanghina, this week's wine pick. So we're headed back to Campania to have a Falanghina. So Falanghina, this particular one is from next door in Molise, but we're gonna drink a white wine that I think is gonna pair really well. So Falanghina is going to traditionally be found in Campania, in Molise, and Puglia, but the majority of it is grown in Campania. So cheers to everyone. A little bit of wine. This is a great wine to use because it's snappy, crisp, it's got great fruit. The acidity in it is perfect with the acidity in anchovy, caper, and olive. So, salute. What is everyone else drinking tonight? No one? Okay.
Unfortunately, I have a Carmenere. Carmenere. It's a Chilean wine, red.
Sure. Yeah. You know, that can pair pretty well too. But whatever wine is in your glass, that's really the best wine for you.
Hey, that's right.
So let's start with the components, because the key to great Italian cuisine is finding the best, highest quality components. So I want to talk a little bit first about the olives that are used in this Puttanesca sauce, Gaeta olives. Now, the closest you're going to find in America will be Kalamata, which you'll find in Greece. But Gaeta olives, which are traditionally found in Spain, but they're in Campania, you'll find them also throughout Spain and Greece as well. So it's a black olive, as you can see right there. Beautiful. You can get those. And these are whole with the pits. I just separated the pits out for the purpose of the recipe. Next component is going to be capers. It's really important when you buy capers, they tend to be really salty because they're soaking in salt water. It's important to rinse your capers really, really well so your sauce isn't too salty, okay? So that's an important component right there. Anchovy. The best ones, obviously, the best anchovy you can find is going to be in a tin can, because I just think it's better than the ones in the jar, higher quality. Garlic and a little bit of parsley. And it's important not to get curly parsley. Curly parsley does not have the same taste, and it doesn't add the same, even though we're using it as a garnish, it sets it off. Curly parsley doesn't offer anything really. So use Italian flat leaf parsley. I'm gonna use that. And then when it comes to pasta, for this type of dish, if you're not making your own fresh, which there's plenty of other videos where I've made fresh with you, but there's a lot of different kinds you can get. Personally, what you want to look for is something that says bronze die cut when you're getting machined pasta. That's really important. You don't want to get barilla, barilla. It's really it's not bronze die cut. It's very, very yellow. It's not as high quality. So get something like La Molisana. That's a high quality, and it's really affordable for a store-bought. Rao, I really like this kind. And then you can get Rustichella di Abruzzo. So something like that. So we're going to use linguini tonight.
I have an emergency question. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Actually, a wine question. I was taking it out, and there seems to be a quarter of the cork still stuck in the bottle. What would you recommend I do?
The cork is still in the bottle, like inside the bottle or in the neck of the bottle?
It's in the neck. It's a quarter of it.
Okay, so what you want to do, quick little trick, if you don't have a asso, which is, shoot, I have it in my wine cellar. If you don't have something special like that, what you can do is you can grab a corkscrew. And what you want to do is you want to hold the corkscrew kind of on an angle like that. And you want to go in the sharpest angle you can, like forcing it diagonal sideways. You want to like pin it up against the wall of the neck of the bottle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than going straight down. And if you can pin it sideways and go as far as you can, and then pull it out slowly, like trying to apply pressure on the neck of the bottle, chances are you'll get it right out. Okay.
I applied too much force, and it's now floating in the wine. So sorry about that. Thank you, though.
All right. Well, what you can do at this point is you can use a strainer. If you have a strainer, just empty the bottle into a container and strain it and put it back in an empty bottle or pour directly out of that glass container into your wine glass. You can strain it.
Thank you so much.
Coffee filter or a fine mesh wire strainer, but the metal tends to, it can impact the taste of the wine. So, all right.
Or count it as fiber.
Or what?
Count it as fiber.
Yeah. So next up, so first part of this recipe, we want to talk a little bit about why it's important to remove the skins of tomato. Skins have tannins, just like in wine with grapes, but it just gets a little messy in your sauce. So what you want to do is quickly boil your tomato and remove the skin. One of the things I failed to mention is normally I would use a Roma tomato for this recipe or a San Marzano. The San Marzano is the best. That's what they use in Italy. Unfortunately, at this time of year, I wasn't confident in the quality of San Marzano that people could get all around the US. So Campari is another tomato that's readily available. You're going to find all throughout the US. You can find this brand pretty much everywhere in the US. They're slightly sweet, not as good, but a good substitute. What you want to do is you want to cut an X right in it, just like that. See, I just cut a little X, just like that. You want to do that and then just drop them in the water. So I'm going to cut X's in all these. You do that so that the skin will just fall right off after you boil it for 30 seconds. So you want to have a bowl of ice cold water at this point ready to go. Okay? Just cut those. What is everyone, anyone else drinking anything tonight? No? We've got a dry crowd.
Recovery.
Oh, what? A dry crowd?
Roger, should I mince these red peppers while I'm waiting, or
What'd you say?
should I mince up this chili pepper?
I don't know what kind of chili you got. We're gonna get into the chili a little bit later.
I'm sorry.
Traditionally, you're gonna use like a little red chili, like a Calabrian chili or chilies you're gonna find in the south of Italy. I couldn't locate those right now. Maybe those people that are in California, they have a little bit better access to some of those chiles, if there's anyone tuning in from California. But yeah, you can, if you have little chilies, you can just throw it in whole. If you have a big chili, I got a dried out larger chili. I'm cheating and using a cascabel chili. So I'm only going to use like that much of it. And I'm going to just dice it up a little bit. So first things first, let's get the tomatoes in the water. Ready to go?
I love olives. Just don't know how many I need.
So tomatoes ready. Turn your saute pan on that you're going to be cooking pasta in. So we got our saute pan on right here, boiling water in the tomato here. We've got another pot for the pasta. So I've got the pasta water. You always want to use a large pot for pasta. Many people make the mistake of using a smaller size pot for pasta, and it won't cook correctly. So use a large pot for the your pasta, and always, always, always salt the water of your pasta once it's boiling, because salt will slow down the boiling, and it's just not the same. So this is boiling right now. So I'm gonna actually put salt in there. And how much salt is enough salt? I mean, you really want to use a few tablespoons, you know? Don't be afraid, because that pasta is just gonna soak it up. Okay, at this point, let's see. Let me take a look at my tomato. Perfect. Yeah, tomatoes are already done. We can take these tomatoes out. I'm literally just going to pour the tomatoes in cold water to blanch them. Done. So I put a little ice water in. Tomatoes are done. Get all that ice. As you can see, the tomatoes, literally, the skin is falling off right there. You see? Skin falls off. That's, you know, easy technique, just like that. Really super easy. And just put that off to the side. Remove all the skin. Any other questions, Scott?
Yes,
What?
I bought the olives and they're pitted. I'm gonna take the pits out. Should I mince up the olives?
Really no need. You could just like literally, I just use my fingers and I just squeeze the pit out with my finger, and whatever, as you can see, the consistency of the that's left, I literally just squeeze them right out, just like that.
Okay, and then do I do anything with the olive body when the pit's removed?
You just put it in a little bowl or something. We're gonna get ready to throw it in. Okay, by now, our saute pan is going to be should be hot. You always want to wait until your saute pan is hot to add the oil. Don't put olive oil in your pan if it's not hot and then heat it up. It's a different cook point. It's not wise to do that. So now that we're on olive oil, so I chose this olive oil because I know it's readily available across the US, but this isn't actually Italian olive oil. Choosing the right oil is one of the most daunting tasks in America. 80% of the olive oil you find on the supermarket shelves is either expired or fraudulent. It's not real extra virgin olive oil, or it's a blend of multiple countries. For example, this one, the flavor in it's okay. I actually prefer this Greek one right here, which is fairly available at like World Market. Noschelli. Greece makes some pretty good, it's from Crete actually. But so Lucchini, you see the name, you think, okay, wow, this has got to be Italian. It's got an Italian name. If you look closely, it says Andean foothills grown. So And then it says produced exclusively for Lucchini, Italia, Chico, California, but it's a product of Argentina. If that isn't misrepresentative, I don't know what is. But it happens to taste fairly good. So in a pinch, I chose something that is readily available. My favorite olive oil to use, if you can find it in your local city, and in terms of quality to price, is Ranieri. Ranieri olive oil is absolutely dynamite. It's from Liguria, and it's made from Tajasca olives. So for more about olive oil and understanding what it is, take a look at my website for the whole article about it. I have a Master of Olive Oil certificate. It's one of my favorite things to taste, and there's a huge difference across the world in what is olive oil, what is extra virgin olive oil. So, okay, we got the pan ready to go. Put a little olive oil in it. About 40 grams, we're good. With the garlic, you just want to smash it, just like that, because we're actually going to remove this garlic. Not too high, okay? Just enough to saute. Put the anchovies in there too now. And the chili.
Did you say tequila?
Chili. Because all we're doing is really just infusing it.
Or tequila.
Or no tequila in this recipe. So what's really important here is we smash the garlic, but we want to take the anchovy right here. We want to do this because the anchovy is actually going to disintegrate with the spoon like that. That garlic, we can take the garlic out. It's already done. Okay? All we did is we just wanted to infuse it. That's it. Just like that. Okay? Now in go the tomatoes. Which I still need to finish peeling. You want to take a fork and start to smash those tomatoes down. Just like this. Just like that. You see, Jake? What?
I put the anchovies, the garlic, and the hot pepper and the olives all in the pan with the oil. Now I'm adding the tomato.
You did the olives too?
Yeah, it was a miscommunication on my part.
Okay, no worries. Easily rescuable. Just that's fine. Leave the olives in there. We'll finish with the capers at the end. It's okay. Just let that simmer. Now that you got the tomato in there, you just want to let it simmer a little bit. Okay, you can throw the capers and olives in there right now if you want.
You said smash.
I'm just going to let it simmer, just like you. Boom, just like that. Okay. It's a good idea to clean as we go, right? Okay. Chili. Let's get the lasagna or spaghetti if you have it right in. So I said 400 grams. This recipe is for 4 people. A package of pasta is a little bit more than 400 grams. So I'm going to leave a quarter of it in there. Now you put it in the center like that, and then spin it around. Spread it out, and then you'll push it down as it heats up. There we go. just like that. There. That's it. Whatever your package says to cook for cook time, if it says 10, 12 minutes, one of the things you want to pay attention to, I said to look for bronze die cut hard pasta, spaghetti, or linguini. If it says like 7 or 8 minutes, that's a low quality pasta, okay? You don't want to buy something that says 7 or 8 minutes for a dried pasta. You'll notice the ones that say 7 or 8 minutes, if you look at the color of them compared to it, they're going to be a lot more yellow. This is a little bit less yellow than, let's say, some of those other brands that only say 7 or 8 minutes. It's lower quality. This is bronze die cut. So it's an extruded pasta. They put it through a bronze machine. This is the quality of hard dry pasta you want.
So what's the appropriate time, like a good pasta, what, cooks for 2 to 3 minutes instead of 7 to 8?
No, a fresh pasta cooks in 2 or 3 minutes, but a hard dry pasta, which is what we're using, a good one, I said, is going to cook for like 9 to 14 minutes, somewhere in there, 10 to 14 minutes. Don't buy the ones that say 7 or 8 minutes. Those are lower quality pasta, 7 or 8. When dealing with dried box hard pasta. Okay?
Good deal.
Up all the way, make sure it's fully incorporated. Okay. So just sit back, we can let that cook, give it a stir. You kind of want it on high heat so it cooks really fast. Bronzo veloce. I turned it down for a minute because we were talking. There we go. Kind of separate it too. One of the things you want to do is with your pasta, you want to make sure it's all separated once it's in the pot, like this.
Drink break.
What'd you say? Drink break? Here we go. I like to use iodized sea salt. For those of you that don't use sea salt when you're cooking, you should. It's important to have multiple different salts in your house. I try to carry at least 3 to 4 types of salt. I usually carry a kosher sea salt. I do Maldon sea salt flakes, and I try to do some table salt, iodized sea salt fine, and then I do a coarse one as well for different applications, like a block and I grade. So different applications, different salts. Same thing with pepper. You don't want just coarse black pepper, and never buy pepper that's pre-ground or anything like that, because it loses its flavor. It's just like spices. When at all possible, avoid dried spices or spices that are ground up ahead of time, like when you see McCormick and all these other ones. They lose their flavor so quickly, and there's a huge difference between, let's say, using a coffee grinder, a little mini coffee grinder you can buy. That's what I use. And you grind up your own fresh. You can buy cloves and black pepper, any of your hard spices. You want to use that to grind it up. It's a world of difference in the flavor of any of your dishes. It's a good tip for you. So, parsley here. Scott, how you doing?
I just had some of that fiber we were talking about earlier from the cork. But other than that, I think I'm doing all right.
Did you strain it?
But yeah, of course, I was doing it with a steel strainer. He said, as soon as I started pouring, you're like, but a metal strainer will change the taste of the wine. And of course.
The other thing you want to be careful of, another thing to talk about, in your kitchen, when you have a cutting board, you always want to anchor your cutting board. Did I mention that? So a good, easy way to anchor it is just take a paper towel, get it a little wet, throw it underneath your cutting board, and then it won't move at all. And that's the #1 way, that and a dull knife, the top 2 ways people get cut in the kitchen. You always make sure you keep a sharp knife and anchor your cutting board. The amount of times that you're going to actually get cut will be slim to none. So, how's your sauce doing?
Doing pretty good. Check it out.
Okay. I'm gonna come around the other side. All right, that looks, it's not so liquidy, right?
Nope.
Perfect. Okay.
Not bad. Not bad for a noob.
Okay, let me come back around the other way. Looks like, does anyone have questions? Pulta, I will cook tomorrow and share the pig. Thank you for joining. Oh yeah, and by the way, everyone, whoever's cooking tonight, I want you to share your pictures and post it in the Eat, Drink, Explore platform. Because that, like I said, this platform is a social platform for all of you to connect and share other information with each other. Like, I know there's people from many different countries out here. I saw Volta that you're on as well. She's from Moldova, and there's other people from all over. It's Italy and many other countries. Share your pictures. This is an exchangement. You know, the world is a better place if we learn about each other's cultures. So that's really, really important, I think. And when you're testing to see if your spaghetti or linguini is done, don't throw it up against the wall. That's an old wives' tale. Nobody does this in Italy. I can tell this isn't done. See, look, I bent it and it still is kind of holding that bent shape. So that's not done. Scott, when I said 1 to 2 minutes earlier for cooking the pasta, I said you want to cook it 1 or 2 minutes less than what the package calls for.
Ooh. Thank you for showing me now.
Yeah, that's what maybe you heard, 1 to 2 minutes less. And that's because when you transfer it into the pan, I'm gonna turn this down now because that's pretty much done. It's gonna continue to cook that cooking like a great steak. It's gonna carry over into the pan. So I'm gonna let that cook 1 more minute. Let me finish dicing up this parsley.
When's the knives class?
What'd you say?
Knives class.
Who's that? My
Oh, you
girl
want
over there.
that class? Coming soon. Coming soon. We'll give it a little quick knife techniques. I think I've done them in the past, but yeah, we'll do another one sometime soon. Or we'll upload a quick video onto the Eat, Drink, Explore platform. So for all of you that join, make sure you pass it on, spread it to others, get other people to join and get involved in this exciting, exciting world.
Roger, this is my first dish in my new stainless steel cookware you recommend.
Oh, nice. You bought some new stainless steel pans?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yep.
And how are they cooking?
Right now, pretty good. I think your tip with the hot pan cold oil really worked out for me.
Oh, you notice the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise the oil will break down much faster. Okay, let me just double check. Perfect. My linguine is done. So I'm gonna reserve a little bit of this water. So always, whenever you cook pasta, reserve some of the starchy water. Reserve a full cup. You never know how much you're gonna use. When you make carbonara, you usually need a lot more. So we've got that. I'm gonna come over here. Okay. Fun with that.
What's that for?
I'm draining the pasta.
No, the pasta water. What's that for?
I'm gonna show you.
It's a good chaser, I heard.
So I don't usually make for 4, so I'm gonna have to take it out of the saute pan, dump it in here, and mix it up. I'm gonna teach you. Normally I would do a flip for you, but I was making this for 4 to show you. So you've got that in there. You put the pasta back on top of the sauce, right? Want to mix it up? I'm using tongs. It's actually best. So right here, what's happening is your linguini or spaghetti is absorbing all of that sauce. So you need just a little bit of starch. Whoop. Starchy water. And that water is better than using plain water. Okay, looks like we're ready to plate. So, I'm going to show you a quick plating technique here. Little secret. So, come in close, right here. You could. Right here. Okay, so here's your technique. So what you want to do is the best thing to use is actually little tweezers, long tweezers. You'll see they sell like the Sur La Table and other culinary cook stores. But many times we don't have tweezers on us. Tongs work great. Tongs and a ladle. You're gonna go in there and you're gonna spin it around using a ladle. Come in close. Use the ladle just like that. See, the tongs will get a much tighter roll on the pasta. So just like this, and this is how you can make it look really pretty, just like that. And I personally want to get some of the caper and olive, just like that. And then we grab some parsley, and we have a spaghetti or linguini puttanesca. Bruh, just like that. So, and then of course, the best thing to do is to try it. So, let's try. Are we there yet, everyone?
Almost.
Here we go. Mmm. Perfect. So, why Puttanesca is so good is because it packs a punch. It has a good salinity, good acidity. But one of the other great things is anchovy adds some umami flavor to it as well, because you have the oil in the anchovy, you have the oil in the olive oil. I know in some places in Naples, I mean, I don't know why, but they go a little crazy with olive oil. You'll see them sometimes on many dishes, like a dish like this. They'd even do this. I've seen them drizzle a little bit of olive oil on the top like that. I personally don't like that. I don't think it needs the oil. Some people do, but just like that, that's a perfect. Notice the ratio between olive and sauce. The sauce just kind of coats it. Just like that. There's some tomato in there. I mean, that's just perfect. Just like that. Okay. Scott, you try it yet?
It's so picturesque. I can't. This is just beautiful.
That looks great, Scott.
Your instructions. Whoa. Almost lost it. Thank you.
That looks
Let's see.
delicious.
Let me come around here. Let me see. Scott, let's see what you got going on.
It kind of flopped off the plate a little, but I caught it before it hit the floor.
Okay. Okay. Did you mix it up in the pasta a lot?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Now
With
tell me
the
this.
tongue.
Oh, perfect. Now, cheese never goes in puttanesca.
Ooh, that was my
If
next
you
question.
If you see anyone that puts cheese in puttanesca, it's not puttanesca. Puttanesca, this is the recipe that is 100% accepted by l'Accademia di Cucina Italiana. So this is by the Italian Institute, the Italian Kitchen Academy. So this is the one that is accepted. And this is a perfect website. If you go to their website and their cooking school, where they have recognized recipes that each little town that the dishes are from, they submit for authenticity. This is the one that is guaranteed for authenticity. anything else, you see Parmesan Reggiano in there, it's not Puttanesca because it changes the flavor and it's no longer Puttanesca. The thing about Puttanesca is packing that punch, the salinity, the acidity, the umami. What do you think, Scott?
I think it's pretty damn good. And these anchovies really complement it. The garlic and the flavors just really go together well.
Oh, excellent. Well, and then the white wine, because of the salinity and acidity in the dish, that is offset by a falangino, which has great acidity and good fruit too. So the fruit, the sweetness of it's not sweet wine, but I'm saying the sugar levels in it is just perfect together with that dish. So it's really important the relationship we have between food and wine. So anyone have any other questions?
I have a question. How long has this dish been around for? Like when do you have an origination date?
I don't, but it's been around because it's legend as to the creation and how it was created. So it's not quite verifiable, but there's records of it being around for several hundred years. So
My next question was, I missed it, but the capers, did you just sprinkle them on top?
no, I had put that in the sauce.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. So and remember, don't forget when you buy capers to wash them, rinse them first because they're in salt. And if you notice when you buy a jar of capers, you can actually see all the salt because if you look in the bottom of the glass jar, you'll see just lots of salt sediment because they're preserved in salt. If you can, get capers that are from Pantelleria. It's an island that, it's very famous capers in Italy, but if you can get the ones from Pantelleria, it's an island that sits in between the coast of Africa and Sicily. So Sicily is an island all the way to the south of Italy. And then underneath Sicily is the island of Pantelleria, very famous for producing an amazing dessert style wine called Passito di Pantelleria, but also capers that come from there are absolutely magic. So sitting in between Sicily and Africa, but it's owned by Italy, you have that island that produces beautiful, beautiful capers. So warm weather there, hot winds coming off Africa with cool winds from the north. It's really a special place if you get the chance to go. Maybe we should do a segment on Pantelleria. Hardly anyone ever gets a chance to go, and it's got a lot of culture that's interesting to talk, read, and explore more about.
I call a field trip.
Would you say?
I call a field trip.
Okay, I'm number 2. Who's the leader?
Yeah, baby.
I will be. My
Okay,
husband,
I'm there.
yeah, my
So-
husband has been to Africa about probably over 30 times.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
All
He
over
does-
Africa?
I'm sorry,
All over Africa, you said?
mostly Malawi. He goes out
Oh,
into
wow.
yeah, he goes out into the bush. He started a school there. He started there's a church. They do sewing projects. He does a lot of philanthropy work.
Wow, I need to meet your husband. He sounds like a special person.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's got a great heart for other people.
I'm sorry, I couldn't stop from stuffing my face. Scott, did you garnish with a little bit of parsley? That helps too.
Yes.
Okay.
God, how's the red wine with the pasta?
You know, I'm no sommelier, but I will say it's pretty good. I mean, I feel it.
The red wine, truthfully, with this dish, I'll be honest, with this dish is actually going to make the red wine taste more bitter. If you notice, if you tried the red wine before you had the pasta and then you had the pasta and now you have the red wine now should have tasted more bitter because of the tannins that are prevalent in Carmenere. Some red wines, this dish is a difficult dish to match the wine with because normally tomato sauce pairs really well because it's high in acid with red wines that are high in acid. So high acid red wines would be like Pinot Noir, Sangiovese, so Chianti, Classico, Brunello, other Sangioveses around Italy. Nerello Mascalese would be a great pairing for this dish. Nerello Mascalese is what's found in Etna Rossos. But anytime you get tannins, when you have bitter components, it accentuates the bitterness in the wine. So it's a little bit difficult of a pairing. The Carmenere is a great wine, but I think, you know, it could pair better with other dishes. But regardless, it's a great dish. I hope everyone enjoyed. And I want everyone, if you can, you made the dish tonight or you make it anytime in the future, tag us, upload it, and I want to see your pictures. I want to see how it turned out. So,
Roger.
any other questions?
Yes, couple.
Sure, I'm here.
Where is the Carmenere? What is that? What kind of wine is that?
So it's Carmenere is a grape, is the name of the grape. You probably bought one from Chile, South America. But the grape is originally from France, in the Bordeaux region of France. You'll find it. You'll find it. They used it as a mixing grape in France. It's actually a really interesting story. What happened is in Chile they were growing it and they thought it was Merlot. And what happened is a French winemaker had gone down to Chile. He was hired as an enologist, you know, to go and consult with a winery in Chile. And when he got there, he looked at the leaf pattern of the vine and he said, "Oh, this is beautiful. This is Carmenere." And they said, "No, it's Merlot." They had been growing and selling it as Merlot, but it's actually Carmenere. So really it's Chile that saved Carmenere because it had gone to near extinction in France. Like it drastically decreased in popularity. And then finally, another place in the world you find Carmenere. There's places in California that are growing it now. But in Italy, in Verona, so all around where they make Amarone, you'll find lots of Carmeneres in Veneto and Verona. So it's another place that's starting to grow it now as well. So that's your history on Carmenere.
So Roger, you know, I don't know if Rita uses this in some of her artwork. However, Julie, my lovely wife, wanted to make this sign. Thank you to you and a tribute to Rita in the red wine and everything that you're doing here. So Julie.
Painted with?
Carmen.
Oh,
Yeah,
painted.
grape that was almost fossilized.
Wow.
It's a nice color.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, some good tones to it, right?
I did 3 coats, 3 times.
We were really happy with that medium, you know?
Yeah.
So Carmenere is very, very dark in color because of its polyphenols. But yeah, there's a Carmenere.
Oh, okay. Here's one too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Excellent.
Like,
I'm gonna go offer this up to my neighbors.
you know, one of the ways that Carmenere is very recognizable is because it has like green bell peppers, green vegetal, or in the lingo we say pyrzines, and there's high pyrzine. So you always can recognize it because of the green vegetal notes in it. But Merlot also has some green vegetal notes as well, so that could be why it was mistaken for that. But it's a great wine. I love to drink Carmenere, and they're really affordable. Drink more of it. Let's go to Chile too.
I noticed they captured the flavor of the grape really well.
Did you? Can you smell or taste in strong sense of terroir, like strong sense of earth where it's from?
So I think those are the tannins in the bottom there, those little granulations aside from the cork. I've noticed, you know, there's a lot of tannins in this particular wine. Not so many, not a lot of legs, you know, it's not doesn't do a lot of walking. But,
The alcohol legs on the side of the glass.
yeah. But the I mean, it's doing something, so this is great.
Well, thank you for sharing, and I hopefully everyone enjoys today. I appreciate everyone tuning in. So just in the future, moving forward, we do a Meet the Winemaker series once a month on the eDrink Explore platform. We constantly, daily, they share content on there, whether it's recipes, restaurants, different artists, artisans, cultural things going on. And then we do a cooking class. So it's not just me cooking. We're scheduling out some famous chefs. They'll be coming on as well. So be on the lookout for that. We try to do that twice a month. And we do spotlights, and then also our podcast, which is called Unwind Live, which is put out by Eat, Drink, Explore Media. We do 2 podcasts a week where we interview industry innovators and amazing people all over the world that can really enrich your lives, and just great people to be around. But until next time, I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight, and I hope everyone has an amazing evening. Alla prossima. Ciao.
You.
Ciao, grazie.
Take
Ciao a
care.
tutti.
Great class. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank
class.
you.